I get all these compliments about the microphone sounding great, and
Oh, do you?
I think it sounds
Yeah.
pretty good, right? But every review that I've watched of the microphone I already have, it sounds like ass. And people are like, this microphone kind of sounds like ass. I'm like, did I just get a good one? they
You,
it's like the reverse of them having a lemon. They just made like a great one, and I got it.
you're plugging it in the right jack. They're fucking up.
Yeah,
They're
maybe
putting in the USB, and you're putting it right in the fan exhaust.
there's no USB. They're looking for the USB. They can't
See, that's
find
what
it.
they do. They got the converter. They got the fucking adapter.
Yeah, maybe
Like
that could be it.
you're just jacking right in. That's good though. That's good. A little bang for your buck. Everyone does compliment the microphone, which is always so much fun for me.
And it was really
As a
fun for
player.
you when I was missing a piece of my audio setup, and I had to use a regular headset mic this past weekend. You were like, "Yes, he's back down
No,
to earth."
yeah, I enjoyed about 2 seconds of it. Then I was like, "Oh, this mic sucks,
Yeah,
and it's causing an echo. None of this is fun."
I had to do some tweaks.
But it was nice for people to just be like, "Hey, Diablo," and I was waiting for it, but it wasn't like, "Hey, nice mic." It was, "Can you fucking watch Left Side or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, there we go. That's what it
Just
should be.
normally,
That's what it should be."
hey Diablo, normally we have a main healer.
So yeah, let's not open the show with 20 minutes of Overwatch
Main
again.
healer.
Let's not rehash shit we always talk about,
When,
please.
once you leave plat, you never go back until you go back, and then you leave plat, and then you go back.
Let's talk about some fresh shit. I want to talk about Friday the 13th. Can we talk about Friday
Hold up.
specifically?
Okay, go ahead. Because I was gonna say, are we talking the series, the video game, the Instagram
The
account?
movies.
Okay.
The movies, mostly the first three movies, because those are on Amazon Prime. And I said, don't mind if I do. Amazon Prime, fire them up. Ultimate background movies, especially in mid-June here, summertime,
Yeah.
all that counselor feel. But I'm watching it, and we all know
The counselor feel.
that counselor feel. But we all know the story with Jason Voorhees. How he's not even the killer in the first one. And it was like, oh yeah, it's the mom, right? Scream did the whole thing about it.
Yep. Yep.
And we know the lore. He drowns. He drowned because the counselors weren't paying attention to him,
He wasn't a very good swimmer.
and he wasn't a very good swimmer. Now you might know the answer to this because this was a bit of just a knee jerk reaction, and it was simply me asking this: where the fuck was Pamela? Pamela, where you at? Because she worked there. If your son is a little off and he's going to need that extra care and he's going to be going in the water, why don't you stay by him? Pam,
Here's
where was she?
well, I don't know. I would imagine I'd have to go through. I'd have to check the tapes. But if I check the tapes, I would imagine we don't know. I would imagine there's not a solid answer, right? Or is it? Or is she? Is it in her soliloquy?
No, it's not in the soliloquy, and that's what made it interesting to me, because I mean, Friday the 13th's been done a million times, so reboots and 800 sequels, all this shit. But it's just, and they always talk about using the father. It's like, well, we haven't explored the father. We have that angle.
Well,
Where was Pamela?
well, I want to give you my
during-
take. Okay, so
Where's
there's nothing.
Pamela during this? Because I think you could use that somehow.
Oh,
I don't know how.
I'll tell you right now how I would do it. How I would use
go.
it. The not screenwriter. I'd tell you how I would use it. I don't think the lore explores it, and I don't think she doesn't really mention it. And then you have to remember anything you hear at the campfire in the beginning of, I almost said Halloween 2, in the beginning of Friday Part 2, none of them were there, and it's all just hearsay and legend. And then the guy comes out dressed like a savage with a big silly mask on or whatever. So anything he says in there that lines up is just, it happens to line up with what we know from the first movie. So we can't go on that. What I would say is that she is one of the counselors that's having the sexual relations, and that she has some sort of split or multiple personality, and it drives her so mad because deep inside she knows it's her fault, and it's her. her sexual heat is just built up so much, and but the boy, I need to watch Jason. Oh,
Right.
but I love you, and I want
See-
you to plow me. So she
Yes.
is the one who is
Yeah.
the fornicator.
Yeah. Although I think what you just did is what Blake Snyder would call too much marzipan in his hit book Save the Cat, which is a great yet terrible book.
What's like what?
This is the author of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. But he has but he has a part.
Is it really?
Yes. But he has a part in his book because he fucking labels and brands everything. And there's a section called Too Much Marzipan. There's a thing that writers do, and it's called Too Much Marzipan. And it's when you nail something, but you take it a couple steps too far. Because I'm with you that Pamela should definitely be the fornicator. But taking it that extra step,
Oh, the
with
split personality. Yeah.
that's too much marzipan.
Right. Well, I wouldn't make it like spoilers. The movie that's 20 years old called Identity, where you're inside this guy's brain, who is a multiple personality sufferer and serial killer. But maybe it's something we all know. It's sort of like her defense mechanism for trying to cope with this is that, it was somebody else. It wasn't me that let Jason down. I would never. It was one of these dirty camp counselors, and I have to kill all of them. Because I just can't. I don't see how she would rationalize
Sure.
killing everyone else if she didn't think somehow she wasn't responsible. I'm not saying this is. We don't leave this for like the last third of the movie and it's a cliffhanger. Just put it right out there.
Is there an option where is there an angle to be played where Jason has
Is
heat?
the fornicator? Oh,
No, but he has heat with the fornicator man.
oh, maybe. But he's here's what we don't know about Jason. We know that he's physically deformed, but we don't know what his cognition is like. We know what it's like now, but was he always that way? Did he go mad? He obviously did. He obviously didn't really drown, right? Because the first movies are sort of grounded in some sort of reality. Like he didn't drown and then she resurrected him in the pet cemetery, unless she did. Like maybe she resurrected him in the pet cemetery, and that's why he comes back like Sir Gregor. Who knows? This could go in a lot of places now.
A lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
Because
We
like I
have
said,
options.
I always fucking hear, well, we could talk about his dad.
Yeah,
Dad
we've
was-
talked about it
it's
on
like,
here
nah,
too.
I don't want. Yeah, it's like we don't know. Maybe there might be something there.
Here's what
But it's always been Pamela.
let's see if you agree with me.
There's still Pamela stuff to be explored, which is crazy because they made 18 and a half feature films.
Well, we could touch on the Pamela stuff more, but I just want to know if you agree with me here. If you go down the dad path, you run the risk of Rob Zombie Halloweening this and making him a sympathetic figure, and Pamela, you run the risk of it. Well, let's make him an alcoholic, and maybe he beats them. And
Yeah,
he just,
yeah. We talked about this. Here's
you
my
don't wanna
theory
do
though.
that. Yeah,
What about the exact fucking opposite?
that he's awesome.
Nicest, kindest man you could have ever meet. It's like, oh my, I have a special son. Did you know she wanted to have an abortion? He was like, no, Pamela, no, because he's a fucking jam up guy. He's El Dandy, and you know what I'm saying?
He does a little shimmy with a chair.
You know what I'm saying? Just a fucking sweetheart.
Yes, and they kill him because maybe he's so wholesome. She's so wholesome. They're a young married couple at this camp, and he says, Pamela, no, get a hold of your feminine wiles with the boy. And she's like, I just need another child. You just have to seed me, and it's really her fault that Jason drowns, and then she blames or
of
almost
course,
drowns.
Absolutely.
And blames the dad and gets Jason to kill him.
Yeah, she's got to be a hypocrite. Obviously, like that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just good stuff. Well,
She needs to smoke too. Like you could definitely. I mean, there's no way you're telling me Betsy Palmer didn't smoke, and she just got to be a smoker in that movie.
Okay.
I don't mean to smoke like, well, she's a smoker, Riggs.
Riggs.
Like literally smoke cigarettes. how else will she calm her nerves? And it would fit with the time period. Everybody smoked back then.
Now, this might sound like an easy question that I should know the answer to, but I don't. Friend of the Christies. Do we meet? Do we meet? How many of the Christies do we meet?
I think we only meet. Wait a minute. I think we only meet one.
And who is that?
Brohim with the mustache and the glasses. Isn't he a Christie? Or does he just work for them? I think he is a Christie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But this is like next generation. This isn't a Christie that fucking Pamela came up with. You know what I'm saying?
True, right. That's like, would that be Jason's
like he was
age?
he was a child. She
At
was
the
just like,
camp with Jason. And he knows the truth.
Yeah, he knows some shit. And I think we can get those first gen Christies involved. Maybe
we could have two gen. We could have like Grandpa Christie's and then like her age Christie's and then this kid. We could really go play. This should be a Netflix series. Fuck a reboot.
Yeah,
we were writing a Netflix original series here.
Watch the shit out of that.
Well, now what about this? What if the story is so bizarre because everyone like her telling people in the 80s that or late 70s, because she obviously goes on a couple little sprees here, but she tells people Jason died, people that are far removed from this, but the people that were there know that Jason didn't die. Like maybe she's trying to like, she's so ashamed of his handy capable, I don't know how to say this now, 2019. She's so ashamed by how he turned out.
Disability.
Differently. Different ability. I don't know.
Well, I'm getting sued.
Yeah, who knows? She's so ashamed by Jason physically and mentally or whatever that she's
that too.
That she's like, oh, he died. And like, no, here's your kid. Oh, I can't believe it. How will I take care? Oh, it's a good thing he died because I couldn't take care of him by myself without my husband. Like, no. Your husband's dead because you killed him, and here's your son that has special needs. Figure it out.
Yeah, if she's that,
Mom, I'm right here. Oh, my poor dead son.
Yeah, that's very Sleepaway Camp with the aunt. I don't know if you've seen Sleepaway Camp, but she's fucking bananas, and like that's what she does, like straight up denial and stuff. But I also like your idea about like, yeah, she tells people that he's dead. He's not. Maybe what if the drowning? What if it was one of those incidents where, he was under for a while, and he lost a lot of, brain powers, he lost some cells and all that kind of stuff. And he was never the same. And not that he was doing great to begin with. But like, she's the reason he's the way he is. Cause it's always nice when you create the monster and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe we misinterpret this. But see, too, we gotta stay faithful. We gotta make sure we stay. No, don't sigh. We can do it. We can do it because you don't want to ruin what everybody loves, right? And everybody loves the early movies. If you like that franchise, you like those movies, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't like it in the first place. So we have to make sure there's a way that it makes sense that he has this shrine to his dead mom.
Gotta have that. What if that didn't start as a shrine to dead mom? What if that was just what if that was house? What if that is where she kept him? And obviously when she died, it became
he's just like putting her back. He's like, oh, I gotta bring mom home.
Mama, come home. This is really good. I want this on Netflix.
This would be so good. Hey, Netflix, just throw us a little cash. We got you. Yep. You can just Tom Mankiewicz me too. Like you just say creative consultant. That way I don't have to have like a writer's card. Just Superman the movie me.
And then when Pamela's on screen smoking, Jim's gonna point and like, I did that. She's smoking because I gave a note.
Yeah, see where it says special consultant? That's because of me. Because I consulted on that smoking. Smoke. Yeah, this could be such a good. I don't know why, but it's just something a guy at work used to say, and Cryptic would get it. And he's not here, but I always feel like he's out there somewhere.
It's always close by.
Just so he killed Or maybe he did buy into it, and he believes her, and that's why he kills Dad. And then, well, why do we kill all these other people? Well, because it's all counselors. They let you down, and she's believing her own lie at this point. Oh, my boy Jason. Or maybe, like we said, we've talked about this before. You know, like maybe she wasn't working alone in the first movie. Jason's out there in the woods. She knows about him. Maybe he killed a couple of those people and we just didn't see him. It was all off camera, you know, or like we just saw a foot. And so she's not going to break kayfabe in case he's out there.
Sure, but here's the thing. She's an unreliable narrator because she says he drowned, yet he's out there.
Oh, yeah. I drowned.
So everything you say, you can't be trusted.
God bless it. There's always a problem to be solved. And I love this part of it. Yeah, but it makes sense that he didn't drown. She's nuts. That's the only way she can deal with it. And she's maybe she's just trying to get away from him. And he's just like, Mom, come back. And then he's like, I found Mom. I'm going to put her home.
Yeah. I like how we made this very Twin Peaks. Like it got real small town, psychological. Jesus Christ.
You know that Pamela Voorhees, she thinks the boy's dead. He's right there. He's sitting right next to her eating porridge. It's hard to do this and not turn him a little sympathetic. Even if Jason,
J-Man? Yeah, he doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be.
Like he could still be terrifying, though.
Even in, he can just be a force. Because in 2, you know, where she's tricking him at the end, and she kind of just fucking steamrolls him mentally. Like, get on your knees, Jason, and he does. And he falls for it, hook, line, sinker. And it's like when you're that naive, I mean, there's that sympathy, you know. But then he sees the dead head behind him.
He says, "Wait a minute, Mom's right. Hey. You're not Mom.
Hey, you're not a.
I only have one eye. Head. It's hard to tell. This other eye doesn't do well for my depth perception, being on the side of my cheek."
And do you think? Because I don't know what the theater situation was for part 2. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it was a movie that people look forward to. I don't know the box office off the top of my head. Obviously, they all did well because the franchise is still around. But do you think? At the end of part 2, when Ginny and the other guy, they kind of, it's a falsie, but they take down Jason, and they pull off the pillow sheet. We don't see it; the camera doesn't show it, but we see their reaction. He's like, "I'm gonna pull off this sheet. I want to see what this motherfucker looks like real quick." And he does, and they go, "Oh, oof, oof." Yeah. And then they leave. They go into the next scene, and it looks like the movie's over. Like I said, it's a falsie. Now, do you think in the theater when they said, I gotta see what this motherfucker looks like, and he pulls off the sheet, and the camera doesn't show it, and they cut to the next scene? Do you think people were hot in the crowd, like, "I want to see his fucked up face"? You did, God damn it. Because it looks like they're wrapping up the movie and the credits are going to roll just like in the first one. I bet you, if I was in the theater and they went to that, and if I was 12 years old and they went to the next scene after teasing the Jason face, I would have been so upset.
Here's why I don't think that is the case. The first movie was a huge hit. A lot, obviously, if you're seeing the second one, you've seen the first one probably, especially back then. You didn't have shit to do. They've already established that they can do a false ending, and then you see Jason's ugly ass face at the end, because they did that exact thing in the first movie. Mm-hmm. You think it's over, she's in the boat, you see his ugly ass face at the end, and we didn't even know about Jason gonna be in that one, right? We know Jason's in this one. There he is. They pull the sack off. I think when people realize, oh, we're not seeing the face, I think they're waiting for a reveal of the face. I don't think people got hot because they hadn't done the false finish yet. So I think as a moviegoer, you're sort of expecting some sort of jump scare at the end.
You're giving them too much credit for 1986 or whatever the fuck.
85?
81? 1967.
First one came out in 80.
Too much credit.
I think this is 81. I don't think so, because
like Roger Ebert's like the only fucker on the planet at the time. Steven Spielberg's just like, I think this movie's not over, George. Because everyone else they don't know fucking structure.
No, but they saw the first movie.
They did see the first one.
You kill the bad guy, and then there's a thing at jump at the end.
Yeah, there are a couple smart marks. So I think just like,
people are waiting for that.
And then, of course, you get to the next scene where he's like, I'm going to put your injured body in front of this comically large window, and I'm going to stand over here. But you stay by this window, though.
And
You'll be fine.
I also think maybe people suspected that we'll have the wrap up scene where the police come, and then maybe we'll see his body on the stretcher with his face uncovered or something. I don't think people thought we're not going to see his face. It's too much of a
I'm
build up with a masked
sure.
figure. They did it in Halloween. We got to see his
I'd say
face
at least
the end.
half. I'd say at least half because there's so many people out there, and some of them aren't smart or just give a shit at this, especially the time. I bet
That's a
half.
good
thought,
point.
I guess we're not going to see him, honey.
I
Yeah.
would say the not give a shit people were probably like, "Oh, come on, show his face, man."
Yeah.
Those people, the dummies, the dum-dums. But I'm sure there were at least a good portion of people out there that suspected, well, you don't do less in the sequel. You're not like, well, I set you up for this surprise, shocking, scary jump scare moment at the end with this ugly, disfigured thing. It was like the only like practical monster effects of the movie, you know? And then in the second one, we have the monster the whole movie, and we're not gonna get anything. I'll meet you there. I'll say like 50-50.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds fair. Here's another goddamn question about this 60-year-old movie.
That is awesome, but not as good as Halloween, but good.
About halfway through, one of the hot chicks, I think it's the hot chick that gets the slingshot in the butt. She's got a little foo-foo.
God,
She's got
with
a
the
little
shorts?
foo-foo dog. Yeah.
Jeez, Louise.
Mm.
Go ahead.
She's got a little foo-foo dog.
Mhm.
And later on, a couple other people find the dead foo-foo dog. Remember this?
Yes.
Okay. And then at the very end of the movie, when they go into the room with the comically large window that Jason's going to jump through, there's a noise at the door or something, and they get ready, like, all right, we're going to open it, we're going to attack them, and audience members might be thinking, okay, well, here's the part where Jason, but they're going to do this, and he opens the door, and it's not Jason, it's the fucking dog, and I'm just like, hang on, who's that other dog? Who is he? I don't know about this movie.
That is a great question that I never thought about. Was there maybe?
So I want that addressed in our
Was-
Pamela Voorhees movie.
God damn it! The twin dogs.
Twin dogs.
The
Yeah,
twin dog theory. Maybe it could be you could make a film textbook called the twin dogs and other continuity errors.
yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Jesus. Like the Ring theory with the Star Wars or whatever. Remember when that was a thing? About how the prequels were actually good because they're doing the original trilogy but in reverse. It was this whole thing. People were just trying to justify that the prequels were good. It was.
I don't remember them being. I remember them justifying the order of stuff, or like figuring out, like, look, thematically, this is this and this is that. But I don't remember it making them good. I don't remember that part of the theory where they suddenly become watchable.
Yeah, it was a lot of mental gymnastics going on with the Ring theory.
I do. I also remember the order. Like, you must watch. Here's the order that you should watch them in for the best impact.
It's like 4, 5, 6.
It's like no, it's like watch 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 6 or something.
Yeah, and people got weird with it. Like I think it's like Topher Grace or one of those guys, one of those gambling guys, that he took it to another level where it's like, all right, watch this movie until the 45-minute mark, then put on this movie for 18 minutes,
Watch
then
the
come
last
back
10
to
minutes
and
of
it's like,
Phantom Menace.
oh boy, oof, it's like that's just too much. It's too much. But the Friday the 13th movies are on Amazon Prime.
All of them are the first 3.
2, 3, pretty much all of them except for I think maybe one. I don't know if one was actually on there. They do that all the time. I don't know what the fuck the reason
Final
is.
chapter on there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like whenever it's available on, Xfinity, and there was a time when it was on Netflix, it's like all of them but one. It's like, why?
Ever since I've learned that you hate the final chapter and Crispin Glover's performance in it, it makes watching it a different level for me, where I enjoy it thinking of how much you don't enjoy it. Like, oh God, he must really hate this part. So I hope final chapter's on there.
It is.
Who's rapping
And then
at
a
my
dead
door?
fuck.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check. I'll have to check that. I'll see if that one's on there.
Yeah, I like getting some good use out of Amazon Prime. Sometimes it can be, slow sailing. Same with Netflix. Same with all these, streamings. These streamings, there can be some droughts. But when they put a batch of horror movies or something on like this, it makes it all worth it for me. Love it.
I will. I'll look into that. I
I-
also like 5. I don't like it. I don't think it's good, right? But I like 5 for what it is.
5's not bad. I like the idea of crazies. I like a lot of the things they did. Obviously, the Roy.
Roy,
Roy
and
stuff.
they give us enough.
It's gonna be what it is.
They give us enough, and where some things just don't make sense. If you look at them even a little bit, you're like, why is he wearing a blue jumpsuit? Yeah, like that mask is a lot of it doesn't add up. But then he's got black fingernails.
Can we have Roy in our Netflix series?
Oh shit, that would be a deep cut. Well, we can't.
If we play it right, it could be the deepest of cuts, depending on
Now-
the importance of his role.
I'll have to dig into this. Where is that hospital or that commune, whatever you want to call it? It's like a halfway house. You go there. It's like a retreat place for people that have mental issues. Where is that in relation to Crystal Lake? Maybe it's like a couple towns over, or maybe they tell us and I don't remember, but I don't think they do. It's somewhere.
It is somewhere.
Where people, because he has articles, right? Doesn't he have? They find newspaper clippings of Jason or something. Isn't that how he knows about it?
I think so.
You would think that'd be like prime time national news all the time, though. Like there's a crazy man running around in the woods murdering people. Oh.
Yeah, they do cover it that way because there's like a news report. It's just like 8 people killed in the largest murder spree in local history. It's like, yeah, you do have to put that modifier in there. Local history.
Repeating for those who just tuned in, that they did that like 19 times in Halloween too.
So
watching the news clips. Yeah, five is interesting. We could have Roy in there. That's not a bad idea. We could have that.
He could be the fornicator. He could be a lot of things.
Oh,
there's a lot of places to plug him.
There are. He's of the age where he's be a little younger than Pamela. But
that's
not,
good though. Little stud muffin for Pam.
Not too much younger. Not Jason's age, really.
See, this is the part where like the meeting at fucking New Line is going really well, and then we're like, and we're gonna bring in Roy, and he's gonna. And they're like, get the fuck out.
They're on Google and shit. They're like, Roy, who the fuck is Roy?
Well, just looks at the other and is like, too much marzipan.
You know what we need? You know who we need to work in? Let's say this is 2 towns over. Where do you think that wacky hillbilly family lives? Like maybe they live out in the woods in between the 2 towns. I want wacky hillbilly family in my universe. You remember?
Oh yeah, because they'd be teens. They'd be troubled teens.
Yeah, but the weird hillbilly family. There's like the wacky mom that's trying to make soup, and Junior's running around on his motorcycle or whatever, and he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He gets his head lopped off or whatever, and then she gets smashed in the head with a meat cleaver while she's trying to make soup. Those people are creepy. They're the scariest people in that goddamn movie in part 5.
Yeah. Because they should be.
He's not a patient, right? He's just there, and like one of them picks on him or something, and them dummies are trying to beat me up or whatever. I don't remember, something like that. See, I gotta watch 4 and 5 back to back, just grind it out. Man,
I know where you can watch them.
This is not where I thought this episode was gonna go. I didn't think I'd get to talk about Friday the 13th for 30 minutes.
With a little fresh take.
Fresh takes, just sprinkling it all over. Fresh takes.
Mm-hmm.
Get your fresh takes here.
So how are you, Jim? Because I'll be honest, I don't have too much to talk about. So if you have any topics or anything, God bless you.
I'm doing really well. Bold Hearts is a band I've talked about on here. It's my friend Scott and I. We have an original project. It's just a 2-man band right now called Bold Hearts. We've been writing songs for a while. This is the person I was writing songs with. I talked about that. He would come over. We're just whacking away at these songs.
Oh yeah.
Our first single comes out on Friday, August 2nd. It's called One More Chance. Now, boldheartsband.com is up in a way. It's set to private. So if you go there right now, you'll just see our little logo in the top corner and just saying, like, are you sure this is where you wanted to go right now? We have a lot of things.
Bold Hearts Band?
Boldheartsband.com.
Is it Hearts like a real heart or
Yeah.
Brett the Hitman Hart?
Yeah, I spelled it like Brett the Hitman Hart just to make it more difficult to find.
I mean, it is you.
It is me. That's right. Yeah, that's the website. It's going to be on all major platforms. It'll be on Spotify, Apple Music, because iTunes isn't a thing anymore, Amazon Prime. You'll be able to get it on our CD Baby page. There will be more information to come. There's going to be music video. We have to get some more media together for the website. We need good photos and stuff. That's coming up soon. But this song, Come Hell or High Water, is released on. I've seen it. It's in the future. I've seen this. It is released. It's like Judgment Day. It's August 2nd, 2019. It's a Friday. This song comes out, and it's called One More Chance. That is the first Bold Heart single. So I've been talking for a while. I said, summer, we're going to have something ready to go. And we've got something ready to go. All of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. I had to sign up for an ASCAP account because I'm now a songwriter and a song publisher. So it's exciting and sort of nerve-wracking a little bit too because you're trying to get everything together. But
you willed it into existence. And
Yeah.
Make it so. Make it so.
Made it
And
so.
You made it so.
We have so many other awesome songs that just aren't. We're not done recording them yet.
Now, how do we get the most out of this song? I'm talking publicity. I'm talking TV time, radio time. Get it on fucking Shrouds, Twitch stream. How do we do it? Is this good? Is this streaming music? Can we stream to this?
I wouldn't say it's streaming music. It's I mean, you can stream it on Spotify when it comes out. But the first song, One More Chance, is sort of a stripped type of song. Just singing,
strip club song.
Singing a couple of guitar parts, and it's sort of like a song. Like picture the scene, and when you're picturing this scene along with the song, it'll just paint a great image for you. It's a guy that's made mistakes, and he has to just keep asking for chances and another chance, and just one more. This is the last one.
Uh-oh.
For the last chance, one more chance. Can I just get another chance? And
may I ask you?
It's a guy sort of begging, and there's some songwriting rules that kind of get broken, but they don't really matter. I'm not writing songs for other people.
Blake Snyder's gonna be pissed.
Well, you're not supposed to write yourself. If you are the artist and the songwriter, you're not supposed to write yourself as having any flaws.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Like if you're writing
that's
about
terrible.
yourself, like you're supposed to be awesome. And if
Who's,
you're writing a shitty
Where'd
song,
this come from?
this guy that's made like $1 bajillion over the past 50 years writing songs.
Don't know if this is the reason why. Is all.
Maybe not. It's very genre dependent. And his rules apply to a very small set of parameters. He said you got the 10 p.m. crowd, which is, you write songs that are for people that are going to go out late. They're going to drink. They're going to watch you play. You got 10 p.m. songs, but then you get writing a 7 a.m. morning drive time song for people that are driving to work that you want all over the radio and all the he's got rules for these. And one of them is that if you're writing stuff and it makes the character look bad, the singer should be singing about other characters that aren't themselves. Like, oh man, there once was this guy and he screwed up his whole life and he was a drunk and then he died. Like you don't that's not you in the song. But if it's like, you're kicking ass and I love you and you're the best, then it can be you. But one of his examples, have you heard the song where the guy's talking about live like you were dying? He's like, I went skydiving, I went blah, 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 because I had this terminal disease. But if you think about it, he's in the beginning of the song, he tells you he's singing about other people and not himself. Whatever. That was it was a very long road we just went down to tell you that not all songs work that way or need to work that way. It's just like if your goal is to write a song that makes a lot of money that other people will record. Like if you're a Nashville songwriter, right? Those are some of the rules. None of the bad shit ever happens to you, and awesome shit happens to you because people don't want to hear a song. People won't believe in an artist that is a piece of shit.
I guess it's very rock and roll philosophy because like I just think of, our boy Eminem always talking about bad shit happening to him and all his fuck ups.
Yeah,
I drink too much and now I'm a fucking retard. And great, he has some badass moments too in his songs, but a lot of whoops, I fucked up. I'm a retard.
Of course.
And I think I think that resonates with folks because it's like, yeah, we do make mistakes, but at the same time, we do also like feeling like we're in control. So having those badass moments in a song, we want that. But I mean, it's the same way. Like it's hard. It seems harder. It's like here's my song where it's 100% kick ass because it's hard to have the good without the bad because it makes the good better, makes the good stronger.
But think about this. You mentioned Eminem. Huge artist, and he did have some crossover hits that made it onto like non-rap radio, like the Rihanna songs. It's just a different type of song, right?
Yeah, but even like Lose Yourself, like the first.
Yeah, Lose Yourself in the
moment
like, you own it.
I'm nervous and I'm scared as fuck. Like
yeah, but then you knock it out of the park. You're a badass and you win.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you can have. I think it works, and it works very well if you have that little setup and payoff. Now, if you have a whole song which is like I'm a piece of shit, then maybe that's different.
Right. And in the chorus, if you look at the chorus, he's actually singing to you, the listener, too. Right. In the verses, he's talking about his own experience. Like my mom's spaghetti, I shit in my pants, whatever he threw up on my sweater. But in the chorus, lose yourself in the moment. You own it. You're never gonna let it. He's singing to the listener at that point. Like, go get it, sir. Go on, get after it. But I see your point, and I'm not saying that that this guy has all the answers, but that's why I wanted to give it some context. He's talking his audience is people that I want to write songs for other artists that get the most radio play possible, and then you want to write a song for basically like moms that are driving in the morning is what he's saying, and they don't want to hear about you throwing up on your sweater.
It just depends on your goals,
right?
I guess,
exactly.
There. And I don't know about this with this song. One More Chance. Is that it?
Yes, One More Chance.
One More Chance. And the song One More Chance, is it like what I was saying where there's a little of that, you're flawed, but there's also some triumphant moments. So you have that good and bad, or is it just kind of a bummer song?
It's not a bummer song. It's a take me back type song, and there's plenty of those. It's a baby, I'm sorry. Come on back to me. Bring back to us. Bring back to us. Bring back to us. That's also on Amazon Prime, I think, or Netflix. The indie movies.
Yep, they're on Netflix.
God damn. Almost watched Temple of Doom the other day. Yeah, so this is a song. It's in the first person. The song, and it's a come on back here. I know, I'm sorry, I fucked it up again, but just this time. It'll be the last time until the
maybe this is Jim's choice. Obviously, when it comes out, we can play some of it on the show, or put it on the end or so. I don't know. Maybe we can do a little sprinkle, a little sampling.
Here's
Sample.
the cool thing. We can do whatever the fuck we want to do with it because I've written the song and it's mine. So yeah, we can play it on here. I can break it down. We can do an analysis. Break it down. I can tell you about what strings were on the guitar when I played it.
That could be fun.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's sort of
We'll
weird.
have a co-host for that one because I ain't gonna be of much use.
I mean, you bring that up, like that is sort of the paralysis by analysis part of it, which is okay. The song's done. You're not changing parts. It's recorded. You're not re-recording parts. It's mixed. You're not remixing it. But then you're like, but also, it only gets to come out for the first time once. You know, like it's sort of like you don't want to make a bad first impression.
Yeah.
Where you're like, well, how do I maximize this song coming out?
That's what I was saying.
Very good point. I'll have more information about this next time we record, but there is a way to pre-save it on Spotify before it comes out. I think it's even too early for that at this point, though, to do that. But you can pre-save it on Spotify before it comes out, so then the day it comes out on that Friday, you can just listen to it all day. One More Chance by Bold Hearts.
One More Chance by Bold Hearts.
And
not the Bold Hearts.
Not the Bold Hearts. I mean, we are. That's who we are. That's why the band is the way it is. It's the name of the band for a reason. Maybe I can get Scott on here.
Stephen Bold and Johnny Hearts.
Everything's got to be some sort of wrestling angle with you. Man shaft. Maybe one day I can get Scott on here. Maybe Scott and I can do an episode.
That would be great. That would be great.
Because it's an interesting scenario that happened, with the band. We've known each other for a long time. We both got adult stuff and day jobs and kids. And
yeah, let's document the rise of Bold Hearts.
I mean, we have a story. I mean, there is a story to this band, and there's a story to tell, and that's what people care about. That's something that I've been not just reading about, but just sort of discovering is that artists that are relevant these days, there's a lot of visual components. There's a lot of what did you eat for breakfast? There's a lot of I want to feel like I'm in this with you. Sort of like the indie wrestling, when you have like an indie darling, somebody that you followed, and then they're on this AEW thing, you feel like you were on that ride with them. Like, oh, it's so cool to see them there. Or if maybe you listen to an athlete on a podcast, like a long form podcast, like maybe you're this is a fighter that you like, and you listen to them on Joe Rogan's podcast for 3 hours, and then you really feel like I feel like I know this person more. And then the next time you see that person fight, it's a different experience than it was all the other times. At least that's how I felt with some fighters. So people need to hear our story. Like, why are we doing this? What is the point of all this? And it's all in the name Bold Hearts. I mean, you take the name Bold Hearts. We didn't just pull some shit out of the sky. It took a long time for us to agree on a name. And honestly, I can't remember who threw it out there. If it was me or him, because we were going back and forth.
That means it was him.
I mean, if it was him and I remembered, I would totally put him over right now that it was him. But I don't remember who did, but we definitely both loved it and agreed on it. And the name, it's this music, writing music, playing, performing. It's something that we both grew up doing and that we loved, and that it's our number one passion. But life takes you on paths sometimes. You fall in love and you get married and you got kids, and then it sort of feels like what right do you have? Like, who cares about your songs? You sort of went a different way. You're adults that you're doing dad stuff. Who gives a shit about your music? Why should we pay attention to this? Because it's still here. Like, we still love this stuff, and we feel like we should put it out into the world and see if other people love it. I mean, the songs that we're writing are pretty good. I mean, I got to be honest, it's good shit. So
Good
why
shit.
would we not want to release it, right? But it's, you could
Is
consider
this gonna,
it a
is
bold
this gonna
move.
be on the? Is this gonna be?
You know what I
Is
mean?
this gonna? Yeah, it's gonna be bold. Is this gonna be on iTunes?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I think
Okay, gotcha.
it'll be on iTunes as long as iTunes is still a thing. You know, Apple is phased iTunes out.
Really?
Yeah, for Apple Music.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so
I don't pay attention.
so like if you've bought things on iTunes, you still have them as part of your Apple Music account.
Are they just changing the name of iTunes to
Not-
Apple Music?
Not really. They've like phased it out. But anything that you already purchased, you still have.
They're gonna have a fucking store where you can buy things because Apple wants your money. They're gonna have a
Sure.
player. They're gonna.
Well, they
It's
have,
iTunes.
well, they have Apple Music. No, Apple Music is their streaming service. So instead of saying like
Oh,
I
I see.
paid for this 99-cent download
I
of this MP3 or
fuck,
AAC
they
or
went the
whatever.
streaming route. Okay.
Yeah,
They said,
they're-
Spotify. I'm coming for you, Hulk Hogan.
They did say that, and actually they're growing faster than Spotify did.
Well, Spotify was ground up. Apple's got a bit of a base.
They
that
got
it's
a
jumping
base
from.
But they're trying to creep in on that streaming market, and I think I've heard their pay scales different. This figuring out what you get paid on Spotify stream basis is really hard, and it's really convoluted,
Huh, shouldn't
and
be.
it's very controversial too, because you'll hear a lot of big name artists will complain about like, oh well, I had this big single and it got 200 million plays on Spotify and I made $400. But some of that, I didn't know this was going to go here, but I feel like people need to hear this. If you think about what a streaming service like Spotify is, it's on demand, right? So you Dale, pull up your Spotify playlist and you go, I want to listen to this song, and you pull it up. So that
Yep.
song is playing to you in that one moment, right? Now, the way Spotify pays, it's a percentage of the amount of money they've made that month or something like that, right? So they
from those demand hits.
will from their revenue as a company, right?
Oh.
So like if they made $20 million, you get a percentage of that.
I
So
see.
so it's not a set
It's not
rate.
flat. Yeah, it's like well, first we take care of us, and then we'll you get your cut.
Correct. So the mechanical license rate set by the United States, copyright office or whatever, it's like 10 cents per album. So if I press 1,000 of my albums and people buy those albums, as the songwriter, if I have a song in there, I get 10 cents for each copy that gets made, right? So that's easy to figure out. So it's harder to figure out with streaming, right? Because you're not making copies of stuff, but you're streaming on demand. So you stream that one song and someone goes, hey, I had like 200 million plays of this song and I only made X. And if you look at the royalty checks I got when that song was big on the radio, I got Y, and Y is bigger than X. But what you have to think about is, back in the day, radio used to be the only way to get new music live, right? Like streaming, quote unquote, but it's broadcast. So if someone's listening to Q101 at a peak time, there's millions of people. So you have to think of that one play at that one point in time is actually millions of like equivalent of millions of plays for a Spotify track. So it's not apples to apples comparison. If there's a huge market and it's peak time and it's Kiss 103.5, like one of these stations everyone listens to, there's millions of people listening at any given time, especially if it's like a nationally syndicated show, like the Ryan Seacrest show on a certain station. That's going out to a ton of people. So it's not like that one play on the radio is one Spotify play. That one play on the radio is 5 million Spotify plays or something. It's different.
Ryan Seacrest show.
Yeah, he used to have a show that was like, he's not here, he's not in Chicago, but a bunch of different stations pick it up. It used to,
Damn.
yeah, like Loveline would come on at a certain time, right? But we had it a day.
Yeah.
We were a day behind. But that's all I mean. Like, if he plays it on his show, well, it's going to get played in all these different markets. Tens of millions of people might hear
Yeah,
that song.
that's what we need to do. We need to increase the visibility, the audibility of this when it comes out.
Well, the thing is too, like there has to be a video, and there has to be pictures, and there has to be videos of us talking about like people want access to the people that made the song because they want to feel an investment in that person.
I would like to see on YouTube or whatever you use, and the gram in a smaller way, but like the lead up to it, some stuff like that. Then even some smaller breakdowns beforehand, like here's something with a lyric or something, I don't know, and then following that as well after the release, keep that going. And like I think that could be a fun process where it's just like we're behind the scenes all the time. That could be fun.
That's the commitment you have to make these days. So that's why it's
Live the
harder and
gimmick.
harder. But you got to live the gimmick. You do. It's true. It's true. There's gone are the days of you see some provocative album cover and it's some weird concept album and it's the 70s and you don't even know what the band looks like and that sells 500,000 copies or something. Like that's those days are over. People want to know you. People want to feel a connection, and it's always sort of been that way. You always wanted to feel a connection with the artist. It's just now it's sort of a requirement if you're going to build any sort of fan base.
That's true, because I remember when I still am, but when I was a huge fan of the Insane Clown Posse, I was always like, what those guys look like without that makeup?
The Great
You know,
Malenko.
Like what's their deal and stuff. Then you see them without the makeup and you're like, put it back on. Put it back on. But yeah, I get you. I just want to I want to know
Eminem.
Is there going to be a song about your old dog Banner? Is there going to be a Banner song where it's just like kick the dog?
Kick the dog?
Yeah, a little
kick
country,
the dog.
Little country. It's like, God, this damn dog. This goddamn.
There would never be a kick the dog country. Not even outlaw country song.
It's like they love the dog.
Not even a 10 p.m. country song would you get a kick the dog song.
They'd kick the wife, but they'd keep the dog.
Oh, buddy.
It's country.
Go fishing.
Well, I look forward to all of that. That's gonna be fun.
I look forward to it too. It's sort of exciting and stressful in a good way, where you're trying to figure out little strategies but at a certain point you got to just pull the Band-Aid and jump in and go for it.
What city do you live in? I don't want to dox you, but contact some local fucking newspaper people. Like, hey, local, doing this thing. Here's my background, doing this thing, trying to get it out there. You'll be surprised with that the interest that they're like, yeah, I got nothing.
You'll be surprised.
You'll be surprised.
Hello.
That's just yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got nothing. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
It's like you
surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise! I'm in the newspaper. Oh man.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm running through all that stuff. It makes it hard.
You might not think that that's an avenue that you should take, but it should be. It should be.
I mean, I didn't really think of it. Maybe I'll be in the local Gazette.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. I mean, it's fun, and it's sort of, it feels, there's a little bit of relief, like, okay, finally, I'm going to have a song released out into the world. I mean, part of the reason this song is what it is, too, is, I mean, we both really like the song, but it's easy to do a song where it's just me. There's nothing you have to sit down and schedule. You don't have to go book time somewhere and all that stuff. So that is sort of the bottleneck for why this is the first song and we don't have like 4 or 5 more songs ready to go is we got to cut drums for all of them. And this one didn't require that. Right? Okay. So, but man, this I basically wrote this entire song. Scott likes to downplay his input, but he definitely had a big part in sort of coming up with the hook. He just sort of will deny it. But the songs he's been writing that we've been working on together, like those are my favorites too. Like this one that I wrote is, man, I'm just telling you, if you like this one, there's so many more good ones coming.
Just give him a taste.
Just give him a little sample.
Wet the beak.
Everything's gonna be easy too. Everything's gonna be Bold Hearts Band. So just when it gets to that point, I will plug all that stuff. But like the website's not even up now.
You should do Facebook like before somebody trolls
it's
you.
It's already done. Okay. It's already done.
Okay. Yeah.
I wouldn't have mentioned it now if I didn't already have that stuff locked up.
It's like I'm gonna hold that hostage. Pay me $500.
Yeah, I was surprised with a lot of the things that were available. It was weird. My publishing company name, which is just James Junior Music. Like ASCAP, in the history of ASCAP, no one's okay. I'll take it if it's there. I'm keeping it.
Combination that has yet to be pulled in.
Yeah, that feels weird. Being an ASCAP member. I mean, anybody can do it. You just go sign up. But that is like it's a songwriter and publisher company that collects royalties on behalf of songwriters and music publishers. So unless you got one of those that's going to be out, there's no need to be a member. And now there is.
So it's like a little guild. Is there fees? ASCAP fees, annuals?
No, it's a one-time sign-up deal.
Oh, that's
which
good,
is good. Yep,
it's very good.
Yeah, it's great.
That's some good shit. Apparently Vince McMahon says that all the time. That's good shit. So now I've been saying it all the time.
I can't picture him saying it though.
I know Dean Ambrose or John Moxley has been, telling stories, and yeah, so everyone knows about that because of Dean Ambrose. It's like, hey, yeah, I was doing this. I said, Vince, I don't want to do this. You got me wearing a diaper. He said, oh no, Dean, it's good shit. Ah, ha, ha. So he says it all the time. Oh. Now I do.
So he says good shit when it was dumb and bad.
Yeah.
You got me wearing a diaper? I don't remember that. Was that the Dean Ambrose character was wearing a diaper, or like the character before that?
It was just an example.
Oh, okay. I was
he was complaining about something like, Vince, you're making us do this dumb. I think it was like it was just a bad Vince idea. He was fighting it. He said, no, it's good shit.
It's so fun to listen to how hard Bruce Pritchard defends the Red Rooster gimmick. Because to this day, he's just like, it's a good gimmick. God damn it. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? We squeezed the wrestling in there. You can't not do it.
So before we hit more plugs, let's do something we haven't done in a long time. Let's do a little box office prediction.
Oh, surprise box office prediction.
Because there's a couple movies that come out this weekend. Toy Story 4 is here.
I gotta say,
Dead Don't Die, little zombie comedy that's coming out, and Child's Play, which might be the film that I see this week.
Toy Story 4, I felt like would have a bigger hype train behind it for how it's like coming out soon. And I'm like, I remember them talking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a Toy Story 4 for sure, and we're working on it or whatever. But I'm like, it comes out already.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
No. I mean,
because they've had trailers and shit for like 5 months. I remember the very first one. It was in the theater. It was really quick. It was the 2 stuffed animals at the carnival, like prize bears, and it was I think it was Key and Peele, and it was a teaser of a teaser. Like Buzz and Woody just kind of walk out at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, it's happening." And like they've been hyping it forever. And it's one of those things where if you start advertising too soon, when the moment actually comes, like we're just kind of numb to it.
Right.
I think that's the case. At least
I
for
see.
me.
I see.
With you haven't seen it once, which is insane to me.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't seen any Toy Story movie.
And you have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, Child's Play. I'm very curious about this because they're redoing it. Mark Hamill is the voice, and they're changing the lore. It's not a serial killer inside the body. It's going to be a wonky AI. And yeah, so let's predict the box office for that. Now we're going to do it in Discord. Remember when we used to do that back in the day?
Oh
That was fun.
shit!
So we'll do Prices Right rules, closest without going over. So let's
wait.
type in
So
our answer.
we're doing Toy Story or Child's Play?
Child's Play.
Okay.
We could do both. I don't really give a shit, but I'm going to see Child's Play. And when I'm sitting there being tortured, I want to have something to think about while I'm bored.
It's opening against Toy Story.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think they have direct competition with one another. But I'm gonna write in what I think it's gonna do opening.
I got mine.
Opening week.
I got mine in
Here
there.
we go. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh,
Okay.
we're pretty
Yep,
close.
I knew that was gonna happen. Jim says Toy Story. Jim says Child's Play is gonna make 12 million opening weekend, and I said I went a little lower. I said 9. So we're in the same ballpark.
Yes. And we never do the $1, Bob. That is the lamest shit ever. So we do Prices Right rules, but we don't play it like that.
We don't $1. That's a
don't play
$1 rule.
Yeah. Let's do Toy Story 4 while we're here.
I love that. Let me think about it for a second, because I have no idea what the other ones made. That's fine.
Neither. You know what? Neither do I, and I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah, me neither. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I gave
Jim.
it a little more respect, I guess, than you did, and I
See, I just have that because I think the fatigue.
No, I feel
advertising
you. I
fatigue.
feel you.
So
Dale said
So
52,
I did.
and I said 68. But I was close to doing like 50, but I'm like, that seems too low. It's
Does
Toy
seem
Story
low.
4.
It's unheard of. For Toy Story, it's got to make $1 million. It's got to make 100. You know,
Yeah,
it's got to make 100 easy.
That's
But will it?
interesting.
I don't
We
know.
will see. We will recap this.
I'm excited about that. So let's plug it up and get out of here and play some Overwatch. Follow me on the gram at Dale Zawada. Follow my fucking Instagram. Jim, did you see this hawk?
I
Did
did.
you see
On
this
your
hawk?
Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was fucking nuts. Did you see the second video with my car?
That's the one that was the one I saw. You're walking out to your car, and there's this giant hawk just waiting for you.
Did you see the second video though?
I did not.
Okay, because there's a second video on my Instagram. Because so in the first video, there's a hawk, and there's just fucking feathers everywhere. This hawk has destroyed this pigeon. It's like eating it. It's it's fucking metal as shit, and it flies off, and it's super cool. And I'm like, all right, well, I gotta get to work. So I end the Instagram clip there. And as I turn to go open my car door, my car is fucking covered in pigeon viscera, innards, and shit. And
Oh,
so the
God.
second Instagram video is like, well, I didn't see this, and it was a mess. I had to get my car washed today. I had to make them do it twice because they did the walk around. Like, do you want to make sure we got everything? And I was like, did you get the bird guts? No, you did not,
Nope,
because it was
nope,
pretty
right there.
thick. Because it was really thick. I knew this would be the case. So they fixed that. Yeah, but so you gotta follow us on the gram because we post good shit.
Especially Dale. I've been lacking, and I won't be soon. What is your Instagram handle?
At Dale's Water.
At-
Everything's my name.
At Dale Zawada. I'm at James JR Music, and also at Bold Hearts Band is also an Instagram. You can start following now. You might as well. You're gonna need to anyway.
And there's gonna be consistent posts with that.
Yes, there will be. Soon as we have soon as I have pictures to put on Instagram to
Yep.
start with. See, I refuse to do anything without Scott. He's most of the driving force behind the band.
See, that's the thing. You know, if you're talking
I need
about
pictures of him. We need pictures of us together.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, together it's nice. Look what we do. We get together and make music. But so much of Bold Hearts is embracing, yeah, we're fucking married with kids.
Sure.
But we still love music. So I think both of you need to have access to the account.
Sure, of
Yeah,
course.
And so it's okay, well, Jim's doing this, And meanwhile, Scott's doing this. So it's just like, yeah, they do live separate lives, but they get together to make these banging songs. And every now and then there's a picture with both of you, and it's like, oh, that means they're recording or something. No, it's neat.
Yeah, I'm just talking for
I
like a
think
like a jumping
just
off
saying.
point for the website, for the Facebook page, for
Mhm.
Instagram. There needs to be some pictures of both of us.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
So all right, so yeah, follow all of that. We got a lot of home.
Okay.
This was episode 76. Thanks for listening. I'm Pamela Voorhees.
I'm Roy. So glad you didn't pick Roy.
I almost did.